We know that welding is a manual process, but there have been tons of technical changes to the welding world, and we've added automation. Professor, can you kind of tell us the evolution of going from manual welding to where we are today with automation?
Yeah, of course. And maybe as an introductory statement, I think there are many tasks that cannot be automated, or at least for some time not be automated, maybe some more. So there will still be the need for skilled welders.
What would those be? Like, what would those tasks be?
Like, if you look at real big components, like if you look at, I don't know, earth excavators or something like that, or real big structures.
You can't.
How could you
you're
apply that are too big for robots? Even there may be some solutions, but this will still take decades, in my opinion, at least, until that can be automated. And it's then also the question, is it real economic to automate it? Maybe that's a second thing. So, yes, welders will be needed, but, and I will elaborate a little bit about that, in my opinion, welders will also be needed if we automate welding jobs.
So they got to be able to tell the welder what to do, or the robot what to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will come to that. So let's say from the evolution, maybe I don't think we should go through, let's say, like historically, because a lot of things exist for a long time. But if you imagine like a workshop, a small company doing welding jobs, and the company is growing. Yeah, it's nice economic situations, and they're getting more and more orders. Yeah, so maybe they have 10 welders today, and then they get that next big order, and they don't find the other 5 welders because we have that lack of welders. It's difficult. You have to train them. You have to qualify them. So what to do? And then you can have a look, okay, what are the jobs I have to do? And sometimes, and that's the first step, okay, we have that order where we have to do that very long straight welds. Then the welder has to go there. Maybe it's even a component that's so heavy it lays on the floor, so it has to bend down all the time.
Yeah.
And has to weld that, but it's, 3 meters long. So that's the first step for the, let's say, easy automation or hard automation, it's sometimes called. Yeah, why not? You can use a tractor. Yeah, you just clamp even your manual welding torch in, and this is driving then along. There is a small motor. You can fix it with a magnet. That does the job. Still, the welder has to, to say, okay, what are the parameters?
Yeah,
like the parameters before, but maybe you can increase the welding speed a little bit, and will weld always with the same welding speed.
Yeah,
no welder can do it the same consistency. And then, okay, some skilled welders at the beginning say, yeah, but I do that, a special weld pattern, because I have the gap and so. But, most of the tractors have an option with the weaving function. So you can do that, no problem. Yeah, so that's done. And you can also use that for like a circumferential weld. You have like a positioning band, and then you put on that tractor, it gets locked, and then it's moving along, and it does the job. Really, it takes away, let's say, the physical load from the welder, and he can also, let's say, stand back a little bit. We know we have welding fumes, and of course you should wear, let's say, a face shield against the UV radiation, and you should use, if possible, hopefully some fume extraction, a hood, or maybe extraction at source with a fume extraction torch. But still, it's not 100% safe. So if you have an automation, you can also get a little bit farther away from all these emissions. So that also helps.
And so that is going to be much better for people's health. Like that most people need to really, I feel like welders are very tough. Most welders are very tough, and that health is not their main concern most of the time, but you should care about your health.
Yeah. And you very often you do the job for decades, and what may be fun, if you're in the 30s, that may be really exhausting in the 50s.
Yeah.
And there we have some diseases that are called like welder's knees, because they always have to weld in that bent position. And why not use that easy automation? It will not replace any welder's job if you use a tractor. Yeah, there's no way. That's very straightforward.
So going from tractor into robot, like what is the big benefit of going to a robot then?
Yeah, I would, let's say let's go on with that game of the workshop.
Yeah.
If okay, maybe he doesn't get all orders with, let's say, long straight welds, but also just his typical components with maybe several welds on it, 3D parts. You cannot weld them by a tractor. So
yeah,
and there, let's say the quality requirements are, I would say, medium. Then I would first go to a collaborative robot or called Cobot, because the advantage here is the investment costs are not too high. Yeah, compared to a real industrial articulated arm robot, it's a big difference.
Yeah,
but in my opinion, biggest advantage is the ease of programming these cobots.
Yeah,
you can really learn it very, very fast. If you say compare for an industrial robot for let's say like a basic training course, you need 2 weeks. Which means for a workshop, he needs to send his welder for 2 weeks to the basic programming course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's away, he can weld. These cobots, you need an hour or some hours to be able to program them. So that's really fast. You don't have to go anywhere. There are online teaching courses, and you learn very, very fast.
Well, and I've heard some of these cobots, like you just do the motion and it can program that. Like, what are the ways you program a cobot?
Yeah, it's completely different. So in industrial robot, you very often, sometimes if you have all the 3D CAD data, then you can use offline programming, so you guess has to go along here, or you can use teaching with the teach pin. But with the cobots, it's much more elegant. So you have like only a starting point and an end point, and then you can put in, okay, this is straight, or this is a radius, or something like that. Or you can have like 5 points on a certain curve, and then you say approximate, and then you can peak that, and all is very fast. It's mostly intuitive. You have let's say like graphic interface with easy visualization. And you can run a test pass, so you see, okay, it's all right, yeah, and that's state of the art. So we see so many different product offerings from cobots. So the user really has a choice. It's not that okay, there is only this company offering this, and it's quite fancy, and I don't know if it works all the time.
Yeah,
no, yeah, I think it's absolutely will become a standard for, let's say, smaller, medium-sized workshops. The welder will still, set all the welding parameters. He will learn to program. And then the robot, if you have like a small series of 20 parts, you just put the start button. Maybe you can have an unskilled worker or a helper. You just put in the parts, and then you press the button, and then you remove the parts. And the welder can do the more sophisticated jobs. He still has in that workshop more jobs to do, and he can focus on the real challenging jobs, and always program the next component that can be automized by that cobot. So that's for me the next logical step in automation.
And how much space? Like, do I need a ton of space to have a cobot? Are these like big machines, small machines? Do they vary?
That's the next advantage. The floor space required is very low, like maybe 10 square foot. Yeah, and normally it's a complete cell. So because you still have to, during welding, you still have to protect the welder from the arc. But for programming, it's open, and then they have a table included. You have doors you can open. The machine stands aside or below the table. You can add a torch cleaning station if you want, and you could even add this, let's say, like third axis or turning axis, so you can upgrade your cobot. Which I find very good, most of these cobot solutions also have fume extraction integrated. Either at the top of the welding cell, they have a hood that covers and captures all the fumes, or they use extraction at source. So that means they have a robotic welding torch with on-site extraction. And that means that the fumes cannot even expand very far. They're captured right away. That allows to use a very small fume extraction unit. It also brings down your costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.